All right. Oh yeah, it's a live broadcast. Hey everyone, this is Aspie, and you're watching the Incredible Aspie. And today I am here with a fan of Naked Apes called Morgan. I think that's how I'll address him, Morgan. And he just recently the Naked Ape, the YouTuber, which a lot of us know, pretty much deleted everything. Every trace of him is gone. I mean, there's a few of his videos that have been, mirrored and re-uploaded, including the one which he uploaded himself but was taken down, the one against the skeptic community, or the atheist community. But pretty much all of his videos on his channel's gone, and his Discord is gone. And there are some odd circumstances surrounding everything that happened with his channel. So to talk about it with me today is one of his fans, Morgan, right here. Say hi.
Hey guys, let me put in a few more details. Yeah, I'm a fan of the ape himself, Naked Ape. In the twilight days of his server, I was one of his low-level mods, where on the server, which I'll get to in a minute, my duty was to basically screen people who were coming in. When you join the server, there's this one channel you see, and you got to talk to a mod to give you a role to get in. That's the only thing I could do. There were other mods who had higher level powers to, ban people, delete comments, all that stuff. But in terms of what I saw, it was kind of chaotic. Of people were being let in left and right. There were a lot of lurkers on the server. But in terms of what happened to the server, a week after Good Friday, which was when Ape returned, I was doing my work duties. I was on a rotating shift of where I would work one week at my office and another week at home. The week that all this happened, I was working from home on Friday afternoon. I check on Discord on my laptop. I leave the room. I come back. I see I'm logged out of Discord. I try and log in. It tells me my account's disabled. Check my email. I check my email. What do I find? It says that I have been banned. It says I've been banned from Discord. Let me pull up that email. You might not see it, but I'm going to be reading it verbatim. Let me get in. But I lost access to not only my account, but after talking to some people on Twitter, they also lost their accounts as well. Let's see.
Wow, it was just everybody lost access to their accounts just out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
I'm trying to pull it up on my inbox.
All right. What he's talking about is that he told me this a while ago. Is that when everybody was banned from Naked Ape's Discord, and the Discord was destroyed, everybody got an email saying that essentially that they were banned for what was again
Okay, I have the email. It's telling me my account was disabled for a violation of the terms of service and community guidelines. Here is the email verbatim. Hello. Discord is focused on maintaining a safe and secure environment for our community, and your account has been flagged by the Discord community for violations of our terms of service and community guidelines. Our team has reviewed the claim, taken action by disabling your account. Your account has been found to have sent threats of violence to others, participated in targeted harassment, or incited violence against individuals or communities. Sincerely, the Discord Trust and Safety Team. They did not send proof of what I have. They didn't back up their claims with evidence. They didn't say, hey, this thing you sent to somebody in their DMs, or this thing you posted in this one Discord server. They didn't provide anything. They didn't provide footage. They didn't provide photos. They didn't provide text logs, timestamps. And when I would try and appeal it, the same bot that when you try and message somebody who's blocked you, or when you try and message somebody who didn't block you, but they're not on your friends list and they're not in the same server. It's the same bot, whose name's Clyde, by the way, says that we will not be reinstating your account. And this happened. I thought this was just me, of like something from my past when I was like new to Discord and there was really edgy times. But no. After I managed to get in contact with Ape's second in command, who, again, the week before, was finally given ownership by Ape after he returned on Good Friday, he also got that same email along with literally all but a few people on the server. Over 300 people being affected by this. The server was also deleted as well.
Geez, do you think this was connected in any way with Naked Ape returning to kind of returning to YouTube and his Discord server?
I don't know, really. Although there is a theory that one of Ape's mods, who was really inactive, may have had something to do with this. He invited this individual who decided to have his username as a terrorist who was famous for killing people on camera, who was killed via drone strike. This individual who decided to use this terrorist's name as his username, he claimed he was a convicted rapist and murderer who had gotten out of a prison stint. And this was in Britain. He sounded like he was British. A lot of people called him out on it. They bullied him, laughed it off. Although I was kind of talking with Ape's second in command, Emperor, at the time, of like saying, "Hey, do we want this guy? This guy's saying, people are saying this guy was a convicted rapist. I'm not really cool with this." And he was like, he gave kind of a non-committal answer. I'm like, okay, I don't like this, but whatever you say, sir. Eventually, he left, I guess, or something. It's been a while, but the theory is that either he snitched on all of us and reported all of us en masse, or the mod who let him on, who was inactive for quite some time, possibly did this to us as well. And I sort of thought maybe Ape did this as like a way to get rid of the server or something, but then again, I don't think that's as plausible as the other two theories I have presented.
Yeah, because it's strange because Naked Ape, when he deleted his channel, it wasn't like gone like right away. Like the avatar left, but I thought that he had just taken down his avatar in order to kind of be anonymous and that the only people who would know about his channel were his fans. But later, his channel was just like completely gone. And do you think this guy that was in the Discord server, the guy who had the terrorist as his avatar, do you think that man was actually a rapist and a murderer, or do you think that he was just a troll?
Okay, I think the murder part is bullshit. Can I say that?
Feel free.
Okay, okay. I think the murder part was BS. The rape part, okay, given how that term has been stretched, he may have been drunk at a bar and gotten a little handsy on someone, and maybe they were okay with that, but then they changed their mind down the line and then reported him. I can't remember how long his stint in prison was. The last number I recall is maybe he was in there for 5 years, but he might be inflating his conviction by saying, "Oh, I was a convicted rapist," and using that kind of language. It makes it sound like what he might have done might not have been as bad as what he's assuming. He's just trying to make himself sound like, "Oh, he's a really bad guy," and all that stuff.
So what you're saying is the guy, it was just like it was basically more like sexual like harassment.
Maybe,
Anyway.
but again, this is all just him just saying this of we only know this because he said so.
Ah, I see. And so to get more into what happened on Naked Apes Discord, so you got this all so you all got this email. You guys obviously made another Discord server, and it seems strange. You guys obviously made another Discord server, but it obviously seems strange to me because because when I heard the harassment, when I heard that you guys had been kicked off due to like harassment and stuff, I was assuming that, oh, maybe it's because of their like all their edgy senses of humor, but that doesn't make any sense because because if that would have been it, because the Discord would have probably been gone a long time ago. So
Correct.
exactly. I always loved stealing the memes from that Discord server. It was a lot of fun, but the but I also thought that might have been something to do with copyright because you guys were streaming a lot of movies and shows in there, right?
Correct. Ironically, okay, one of the other mods, a higher level one in the now deleted server, he made a bot that would live stream television shows from a series of files or something like that and broadcast them. That bot wasn't banned. So it wasn't because of the bot that we all got.
I see. I see. Also, I'm just curious, when did you first hear about Naked Ape's channel?
2015, 2016-ish.
Oh, so you were like one of the original
Yeah,
guys.
it just popped up in my recommendeds, and I fell down that rabbit hole there.
I see. That was back in the days when the YouTube algorithm used to actually like recommend videos like that. It wasn't biased against people that it deemed toxic. You could say it would
Correct.
just recommend anybody that they thought you might like. So
Correct.
of course. And then I think that's one reason why Naked Ape probably left. He probably felt that he wasn't going to grow anymore with his channel because of how biased the YouTube algorithm had been made. So I think he eventually just cut his teeth. He eventually just cut everything off. And it was sort of strange because I can recall that on his on his channel, he made that one last video about the return of Braving Ruin, and he said he would be gone for a couple weeks, and a couple weeks obviously turned into like a couple months because the guy he never really came back. I mean, he had that streaming show for a while. Were you there for that?
Not exactly.
The Weekend Chimp Out, I think is what it was called. I was one of his first guests.
I may have seen a few streams of his, but I never really caught on with it.
I see. Oh yeah, you were in the Discord server. How long were you in this Discord server? How long was this Discord server? Did it even exist?
Let me think. I was watching his videos from 2015, 2016. I discovered Discord in 2017. Maybe caught on to his server that same year, like a few months afterwards, because I got onto Discord in February-ish on my old account. Then I found Abe's server as a Discord link in one of his comments or something. Then I got on there, and I've been there ever since. So maybe a little over 3 years. But, yeah, maybe 2.5 or something like that.
Was there any problems in the Discord server with people posting stuff which was against the TOS or
well, I only became more active, I guess, in maybe I definitely was a lurker for quite some time.
Can you please define lurker?
Lurker, somebody who's on the server but isn't really active. Like, I had a really long inactivity phase, and then I just suddenly decided to participate more. This was more in maybe late 2018, but definitely a lot in 2019.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm somewhat older too because I mostly just go on there and start and post memes. Try to get a reaction out of people. I know sometimes we'll talk in like the general chats and stuff. I'm actually in Kraut server still. I know I'm a double agent, but the thing is that I like going in to see what everybody's talking, what they're saying, and sort of ironic after that whole thing with Kraut, the guy's channel still up and going.
Hmm.
He's actually one of his videos. Trump's biggest mistake, I think it was about China. Has almost like 1 million views, so he's actually doing really well on YouTube wise.
That's commendable. I mean, he has had to change a lot of his stuff, but what do we got to do for the YouTube grind?
Of course, the guy used to be an anti-SJW, and he actually talks about how people keep begging him to go back to that style, but he never does because he never because he says when he got escaped that genre, he says it was like escaping an asylum to him. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm still sort of part of a genre because who doesn't like a good feminist thrashing? I mean, come on. But it's still a fun. But at the same time, it did get old after a while, so I can imagine why. And I also think his videos on geopolitics are slightly better. I mean, they're very. I mean, he puts a lot. I mean, Kraut puts a lot of effort into his videos. I mean, like the new ones at the very least. Look at all the like the country balls and stuff. Yeah. Anything
I,
else you want to talk about regarding the Naked Apes channel?
um, Not really. I think he was more or less of saying, the fame. I'm really pretty egotistical about it. I just don't think the fame would be good for me, and so I'll just get rid of my channel and give my Discord people one last goodbye.
Yeah. You ever think he'll come back in any way, shape, or form, or do you think this is pretty much the end of it all?
Considering how he came back randomly back in April, and the fact that he's said, "Oh, okay, I'll be back in a couple of weeks." 2 months later, he uploads. I really do not think he will be coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, it is sort of sad, really. I mean, the guy was a very he was a very enjoyable YouTuber to watch. I mean, the guy was very blunt, very direct, and the guy I think he was actually relatively funny. I liked his brand of humor because I sort of have a very I have an absolutely terrible sense of humor. I know I seem sort of innocent, and I don't exactly seem like I would like that type of humor, but I actually kind of do. But anyway, his which one of his videos did you like? Because I think I downloaded like two of them, but that's
I think the one I liked the I think I liked his election coverage videos the most. I can't name a specific one, sadly.
the one. Are you talking about the
Oh,
one? Was it the one after the inauguration or the my favorite one was the correcting the record. He did a video for Sargon of Akkad for when Sargon of Akkad was still doing that week in stupid and this week in stupid and Naked Ape did did a video called correcting the record with this week in stupid and he he and that was one of the best videos I've ever seen of his. Like he put a lot of effort into that video. Like one of the articles which he reviewed or talked about was one where this one girl called a whole bunch of Bernie Sanders supporters a bunch of woman hating misogynists and stuff like this, and then they all started trolling her, and one of them said they were going to twist her tits off.
damn.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty rough. By the way, what type of job are you in? Because you don't have the docs yourself. Can you give like a general overview if you're willing to, or you don't really have to if you don't want to? I'm just curious.
I fix computers. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, you're a compute. Oh, you do computer maintenance. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been tempted to try and build my own computer because I heard you can do it for only like $700 I think it is, or $800. But yeah, but I don't really know a lot, and chances are I'd probably mess it up trying to place that I think it's called like the CPU or ISO guard in the back. I heard that's like the hardest part.
I think there are tutorials for that, but yeah, there's a learning curve.
Yeah. The sort of let's see when how well how long when did you first hear about Discord again? 2015.
17.
Yeah, when I first saw Discord, I thought it was a relatively revolutionary social media platform because rather than just have just talking rather than just text the talk like you have on Twitter. On Twitter, you can actually speak voice to voice. There's voice channels, so
Hmm.
it was originally like a gaming platform. Is that right?
Oh yeah, definitely a gaming platform. They had all the ads, the tutorials, all catered to just people playing games, and then I guess over the years, more social Discord servers came about. In fact, that was actually one that I joined was a social type Discord server. It was for this old, now dead, meme website called memecenter.com. Currently currently the server used that I first joined, it's dead. And since my account got deleted, I don't have access to it anymore. And I'm very certain nobody is doing anything on there along with all the other ones because they've all been abandoned and people have done their own thing along with myself.
Yeah, the one Discord which I'm surprised has not been completely yeeted off the platform was the who Count Dankula is, right?
Oh yes, famous YouTuber, blue check on Twitter, got arrested by the Brits for making his pug do a
Nazi
certain.
salute.
Yeah.
I'm not monetized, so I could give less of a damn. And and the thing is his Discord has to be some of the stuff I've seen on that Discord server would make the people on poll on 4chan blush because it's literally that bad in there. It's like a form of like a permanent revolution. It's like absolutely insane in there. Have you been in that Discord?
No, I haven't.
Don't do it because let's just say they take the word shit posting way too seriously.
I see. Well, let me think. In terms of me and the 300 other people getting this email saying we've allegedly done all this and haven't seen any evidence even when we asked for it, I think what I think they're accusing us of doing is doing like brigading. We're brigading other servers as users or other servers where people would go in there and post a whole bunch of bad stuff like death threats, uh, death. Let me think. Death threats, illegal memes of gore, all that stuff,
Ugh.
and like target their DMs as well of like going to their DMs and post these things. But no, I don't remember doing that. I've never been given orders to go do that. Nobody has posted orders to go do that, and I certainly haven't posted orders to go do that of target people and cite violence and all that. In fact, even on Ape's old server, um we had a few gay guys. We have
Naked Ape himself.
Yeah, him too. I think we have someone who is transitioning, but I can't confirm that. This person might be a lesbian instead, but we also have a person who practices Judaism who is from Israel. We have some South Americans. Um,
Any Africans?
Not exactly.
I'm pretty sure there's probably some black people in there, but no like actual like people who are actually from Africa.
I wouldn't know. I think aside from the South Americans, our Israeli buddy, I think most of our people aren't exactly dark-skinned.
I can probably imagine why. It's pretty you guys all have a very interesting sense of humor. I can remember on in Naked Apes that everybody used to accuse Naked Ape of being racist. Well, pretty much everybody, all the SJWs would accuse people of being racist. But what's funny is Naked Ape had like a I don't know if he hate the guy definitely does not hate black people because he obviously he had like was his boyfriend like half black or something?
Yes, I believe that Naked Ape's husband, whom he lives with, is a mixed race African American.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, I don't want to dox him or anything, but do you know what state Naked Ape was in? I know he was like Midwest.
I
Have you ever
honestly
seen that?
wouldn't know. I honestly wouldn't know.
From what I heard is that he doesn't sound like somebody he doesn't have any of the accents. I mean, I would imagine he's in like I wouldn't imagine him being living in California. From what I heard he from the sound of it, he said that he grew up in like a very sort of isolated town, and he said he was not very cultured. So and he grew up as sort of country sort of kid. So from the sound of it, he was like in the Midwest or something, where they have a lot of. That's one thing I want to see at least one time in my life is a tornado. I know that sounds weird, but that's just one thing I want to. That's really one thing I want to see in my life at least one time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Got any other questions out of curiosity?
I really don't know what to ask because I didn't know if there was going to be like a lot. I thought you were. I didn't know there was a. Let me say it like this. I thought you had more to say than what you had to say, but I'm
I
sure.
was mhm. I was
I,
mainly going to talk about how this has kind of affected me of this getting my account deleted and all that. We had a get like I was in dozens of other servers. My behavior was clearly compartmentalized of where I wouldn't act in a server. I would keep one server's behavior out of another. Like, for example, what I did in Ape server, I wouldn't drag into, let's say, this one server or that server or anything like that. A lot of people have been affected by this where they've lost contacts, they've lost servers, and they've had to rejoin them and do some explaining.
I see. I see. So it does seem sort of uh one guy says the Dark Conservatarian. Oh my gosh! Enough with this Naked Ape obsession. This is it, Darkon. This is it. People are complaining to me about this whole everybody says that I had like a Naked Ape obsession. I'll admit it was there slightly, but this is it. This is it. This is it, you guys. I promise you. All right. I can recall so how long have you been fixing computers?
That's not exactly something that I've done very frequently. Like, I just got a job. I finally was able to get a job with my college credentials in that field. I haven't been doing it for very long. I'd say maybe a year. I've been with this company for about a year doing computer stuff of fixing them and doing tech support.
I see. I see. I'm so yeah. Tech support. They always make fun of people for they always say jokes like that. That it's mostly Indians that do tech support. Is that because a lot of the industry was exported to like India or something?
Um, is a lot of it is in India. There are probably other countries where they've exported their tech support staff to. Let me think. Yeah, but a lot of the thing is in India, it's gotten so bad that many services that offer remote client support and voice calling for this of like, okay, you and this other person can speak to one another and you allow them remote access to your computer. One program has decided to add it where if the person doing it is from India, you'll get a pop-up saying, "Hey, this person is from a country where they're known for tech support scams. Do you want to go through with it? Yes or no?"
And a lot of people just say no because they don't want to take the chance.
Of course, although there is a caveat to it where some of these scammers have caught on and devised workarounds for it, but when it works, it works.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I've almost been scanned before. I think one guy from Africa, he only had there's this guy on Twitter who had like one picture of himself, him and a bunch of kids, and he was going, "We could use some of your help." And then he DM'd me because my DMs were open. I think the guy was trying to get me to give him money. So I eventually just blocked the guy. So he kept
Smart.
asking for my name, and I didn't want to give my name. And I could tell that this guy, because I could tell that this was going to lead down to a bad path. So I blocked the guy. I mean,
Smart move.
yeah, I don't even know if the guy was from Ghana. If he was just because the guy spoke in like very very broken English, and he kept saying "my friend." I don't know if he was a liar or or just a or he was actually from Africa and he was trying to scam me. But either way, I blocked the guy. Yeah.
Mm.
Apparently that's very common, because people on the internet oftentimes can be very gullible.
Oh, most definitely. I've seen videos from this one guy. I can't remember his name, but it's incredibly easy if you know what you're doing, if you're charismatic enough.
Yeah. Like one time I basically got scammed into downloading and buying this antivirus network antivirus software because the company that did it was like very 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 it was like I forgot the name of the software, but it was like a picture of like a like a very buff looking like robot type that was their that was their icon, and it was like I'm trying to remember it, but they basically tricked us into buying all this stuff. It was I don't think it wasn't that, but it was pretty deceptive how they did their how their advertising practices go. Like they basically made me think I had a virus on my computer.
There are ways to make it look like your computer's doing stuff that wouldn't normally do it, but then again, that's mainly based on how knowledgeable you are with computers. For example, with this one guy who does anti-tech support scam videos, one of the things that scammers will do is that they will run a command prompt command where it will make it look like it's doing something from the Matrix, but that's just a command showing all of your file directories and stuff like that, saying, "Oh, look, the virus is doing this," even though it's not that. A lot of it is illusions and tricks that make you think your computer's doing stuff it shouldn't be doing, but it is, but you don't know those commands and you wouldn't have a reason to know them either.
Yeah. The I don't know a lot. I mean, I used to be quite a computer. I used to be a computer guy. I used to, do a lot of. I used to do a lot of things on the computer, but that probably weren't the best. But I am stopped. But I stopped. But I stopped a long time ago. And well, I still do have a I have a game emulator, so which a lot of people have. I remember I played Conker's Bad Fur Day for a while. You heard of that game?
I have, and I've seen some videos on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. But I used to do a lot mostly the PS4. I had a PS3 and that thing was essentially like a super because that thing with that because surprisingly the PS3 actually has a surprisingly powerful it's a
GPU.
yeah, it was a very powerful it's essentially just a really powerful computer that can play games.
Hmm. Although I've heard places where the PS3 didn't have a lot of games to come out with it that were exclusive, but oh well, whatever worked. You got some stuff that did come out later, but I don't
Yeah.
expect a lot for the PS5.
Yeah, I actually have a PS2 over there. I still have it because I never got rid of it, and I still have some games for it. Well, I remember one time I used to have like 20 something games, and we sold most of them because I stopped playing them. And this is how autistic I am. They all most of these games which I had were like movie video games. Like I had the Shrek 2 video game, the Madagascar video game, the like when I remember a while ago when a new cartoon or movie would come out, they would always make a game for it too. And I decided to I would always pick it up. Oh, and here's how autistic I also am. I am I was a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Still am. I haven't finished the third game. I think I'll probably do that after we're done talking here.
Okay.
But the thing, but I always like for some reason I always like those types of games. I mean, shooting games are fun, but I like story games. I don't really like like RPG type game. I don't even what is an RPG? I am
Role-playing game.
yeah, role
Make
playing.
your own character and you do stuff with them in this world that the developers made.
Oh yeah, so it's basically like Minecraft.
Almost, although some are different.
Yeah. There's some yeah, it's definitely like like that. Sorry, my mind's still. I'm surprised my mind's still trying to wake up because I woke up just like a few minutes ago, and I went to bed at like 12:30 last night. So my brain's fried. Have you ever had? Have you had? I probably should get used to it because I'm going to be an accountant and I'm going to be spending up at late at night doing people's taxes. So
Right. I mean,
like
you were going to say something?
no, keep going. Sorry.
I was going to say I had a coworker who is trying to get into the accounting field of he's doing college and he's having to deal with his professors not doing so well teaching classes online.
Yeah, that's something that can sometimes be a hard time, because one teacher. Here's the thing: my tax teacher, the individual taxes. Hey, I'm not going to say his name, but he was like this Korean guy. He was actually from Korea, and that's what I noticed. A lot of my professors at accounting professors are Asian, are either Chinese or Korean, but they
Interesting.
and then they all the Korean guy. He used to do a lot of he would give us here's how he would give us homeworks. He would go over the PowerPoints, and then but sometimes in the quizzes that he would give us, some of the questions that were in them were not actually in the PowerPoints or the homeworks that he would or the homework he would give us online. So you had to really like read the book, and you because tax law is very complicated, so you actually had to read the book and remember all these like different formulas, how to solve different things, because tax law is like ridiculously complicated.
He's not
Yeah,
wrong. I mean, the regulations are getting worse each year.
yeah. Every year something changes in the tax law, and that's why accountants have to always go to like classes like every year. They have for like a couple of weeks out of the year they have to go like to classes to learn about the new laws that have been set in place. Like I'm learning how to be. I'm wanting to be a CPA.
Oh, that's its own. One of the things you need for that is there's a certification for that of an industry
Yes.
one. That's that's a challenge in and of itself, but doable, yes.
It is a challenge. I mean, the test is not easy, which is an understatement. It's a 4-part test and 4 out and a it's like just 4 hours each section of the test. So it's like a 16-hour long test. That is
Oh my.
yeah, that is pretty rough. You sound more tired than me.
I
Jeez.
mean, let me think. I kind of had a big meal last night, did some drinking, went to bed at like 11 something, woke up at 5, but then I kind of slept in until 8, and I've been up ever since, just doing stuff. But normally for me, for work, I have to get up at around 5 to be there by 7:30.
Hmm. I see. So so has the coronavirus affected your work at all, or?
Okay, we used to do work every other week in the office. I was in one group, there was a second group. My group would go in one week, the other group would stay home, vice versa. Now we're kind of back to normal and we're back at the office, although some of us have had to move in order for us to stay 6 feet away from one person or another. When we go places, we have to wear masks, although thankfully for me, a lot of the where I work at, the campus is rather large and there's a lot of outdoor areas where somebody can just walk to one building or another and the mask requirement is kind of ignored. But if you're in a building, you have to wear it and it gets really uncomfortable and hot, and sometimes there's no air conditioning. That can be a problem.
Yeah, for my work, we have to wear. Actually, the store gives us masks for ourselves with our own with the store emblem on it, and it actually work. To be honest with you, when I'm in my car because it's summertime, I wear sunglasses, but with the mask is over your nose, it'll fog up the sunglasses. So I have to take the mask and put it under my nose in order to so it doesn't fog up my glasses. It may not be I don't know if it's I don't know if it's okay to do that, but I doubt it'll really make a difference. I mean, those masks, I think they're only like to protect you from spreading the virus, but I don't think they're and when I get out of the car, I put it back to where it's supposed to be. So I don't know if it really makes a difference or not.
From what I'm told, you wear the mask not to keep yourself safe, but others safe. Where you're not spreading the virus to other people, but people who aren't wearing masks, they can spread the virus and you can get it just by you wearing a mask. So what they're trying to go for is that they're expecting people to wear masks so that nobody spreads the virus to other people, and that's how people will be safe. But you're starting to see where that's not exactly working, where people aren't doing it, and it's just not the virus. Since I started learning about it in late January, I was kind of expecting it to be a lot more lethal. Like if you got it, you would die really fast, even though the symptoms were mild. But
Like Ebola?
yeah, like Ebola or something else just as quick. But although we're at 100,000, although we're north of 100,000 deaths, a few things to consider is that you need to think about, okay, how many of these people were healthy before they got the virus? How many of them had underlying health conditions that could exacerbate the symptoms? And how many of them were old? Because in states like New York, you would see coronavirus patients being shoved into elderly homes and
Yeah, that is true. You had a lot. You had a lot of you had a lot of you had a lot of people you had a lot of really sketchy stuff going on, like Like I don't know a lot about what happened in New York City, but I know that I think they throwed a whole bunch of people who are sick with the virus into old folks' homes and just
Yeah, New York State, I think.
yeah. I don't know. I was that like very early on in the viruses when the
I
virus
think
started to
that
rise up.
was I think that was like it was definitely in March. Like the second month, things were getting really crazy with the virus spreading around the world. First, it was February. That's when things were starting to look bleak. And then March came around, or actually, maybe it was in April. Definitely between March and April that this started happening because the lockdowns happened on maybe the 21st, something like that. And then April was completely crazy where we were stuck at home and all that. And another thing to consider with the coronavirus is how different states handled it. Like many states that had Republican governors, they either were skeptical of doing lockdowns or didn't do them at all. And the ones that did do it kind of they let them go, they let them expire, and then they did a phased reopening. Other states, such as Michigan, for example, they were very draconian in their edicts. For example, they would deem what would be an essential service and what wouldn't be, or what were essential goods and what were unessential goods at grocery stores, for example. In Michigan, you couldn't in Walmart's they would block off certain sections of the store like hardware, paint,
Toys.
toys, but they also blocked off the gardening section where you couldn't buy seeds. And this was go while this was going on, you were in other places and online you were encouraged to plant your own garden and grow your own vegetables and fruits. You couldn't do that.
You're gonna have to drive out of state to get seeds.
That's if you were allowed to. I don't think you could do that in Michigan. Or
What?
other states had border controls where, for example, in Rhode Island, they would be looking for people who are from New York or Connecticut or New Jersey. If say, okay, you're from this state, you got to be in quarantine for 14 days. Same thing in Maine. Like for example, I have a family friend who has a cabin up in Maine. This person went there and they had to be in quarantine for 14 days because they came out of state.
I see. So whenever he came out, the police would try to arrest him, or
I don't know. This person was complicit with the 14-day quarantine requirement.
hmm. I don't know how they would how they would enforce something like that. I mean, some I guess people can easily just lie and say they came there like 3 weeks ago.
I don't necessarily believe that. I think that I don't know the exact ways. Maybe like they could track your cell phone or something, or do something like that. Like, oh, you were actually here at this date because we have this cell phone data. Although if you were off the grid, you may have some plausible deniability, but depending if you were wise enough to swap out your license plates the night before, if you were going into the state you wanted to go into, maybe you could get away with that, but I, they would find out one way or another somehow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, back to Naked Ape, the thing is that even though I really like the guys, our history, the Naked Ape, but the history between me and Naked Ape isn't like the best history, and that was
Mm.
mostly my fault. You probably remember.
Actually, I kind of don't, though. I did actually speak with Ape on voice chat a few times aside from me saying, oh, you're a great YouTuber, you're all that praise of me asking him advice on some stuff and asking him some political questions like, oh, midterms and some other stuff. My interactions with him were rather neutral at worst, positive at best.
I see. Yeah, like I mean, after our whole little after our whole spurt, you could say, we eventually got friendly with each other. Yeah, and he even called me up one day, and it was rather fun. I admit I eventually I became sort of the server spurg, you could say,
Yeah.
because I actually was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when I was like 3. So
Damn.
yeah, doesn't really make that big of a difference. I mean,
Hmm.
actually, it does make a difference, but you get used to it after a while. I don't know really anything else, so
Well, speaking of ape, are you aware of how there was a snippet of one of Ape's videos put into a broadcast of CBS's 60 Minutes?
yes, I saw that, Nick, because Steven Crowder responded to it and said, "Oh, that's not actually what Naked Ape said." He played the rest of what Naked Ape was saying about the sex robot, and that was pretty hilarious. Yeah,
Of all the things they could have done to take him out of context, they chose that.
yeah, exactly. Like I don't think he was not saying women are bad. He was just saying
He just said sex robots. Next clip, it's Crowder, Louder with Chowder, and then Nick Fuentes or something like that.
forgot what he was saying in that video about sex robots. I think he was saying that men are now what would make a man choose this sex robot over an actual,
Woman.
woman. Yeah.
And it was quite the journey to find it because I was first told about this by another server member who said, "Hey, I saw this thing on TV and I think I saw ape." A few Google searches later, I find the footage. I got the timestamp. I posted it in
Yeah.
the server. The crowd goes wild.
Exactly. I could imagine because that was absolutely insane. That was insane. Well, that's the last bit. That's the biggest mark Naked Ape will have on him. You will have on YouTube. It's
Ironic. Coincidentally, the broadcast was actually about YouTube, where one second.
dogs.
Sorry about that. Pardon the interruption. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about how the 60 Minutes broadcast was about YouTube and how they're going after, I guess, right-winged political YouTubers and all that. They interviewed Susan Wojcicki at one point, but
Yeah, it was some pretty. It was pretty. It was pretty. That was a pretty hectic time. That was pretty. Kind of funny. I think Naked Ape actually said that in his sort of goodbye message to the Discord server.
yeah, but now that's deleted. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we still have the community the community tab thing. The community tab. What is it? Oh yeah, what he said in the community tab on his on his YouTube channel because I put that in my video. So I wish some more people he put his downloaded his videos to put them up. I guess nobody expected him to actually yeet his Discord YouTube channel like that.
Yeah.
But he had to move on. His life, I guess some stuff changed in his life, so he decided that it was best just to sort of leave now while people aren't really talking about him. It's sort of depressing it's sort of depressing, but at the same time, all good things must come to an end at some point. So it was a good time. It was a good time having him on here. Because I can remember on his weekend chimp out one time he says, I think it's good. He said directly that he did not care about YouTube anymore and that that what he was doing, that he was pretty much just a hobby to him. So it was just something fun to do. And yeah, it was very sad to know that he was, just going to completely disappear eventually, but what can you do? You gotta have a life to live. Ah. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I think I gave my 2 cents on what actually happened with the Discord server that Ape made and now has been deleted along with a vast majority of its members. Although some of the members who were there, because they weren't active, they were spared them being banned and having their accounts deleted because
I was
I guess
spared
they were
too.
just lucky. I guess being inactive has its perks, but we, we're now all crashed in another place, and we're kind of going about stuff. Although at a smaller population now,
Yeah.
we're probably at least a little over a fifth of our population that was an ape server, but I guess we're more active than what we were.
Yeah, it's still fun. It's still a a good time. You never know. Maybe Ape after a while will eventually the fire will be lit back up and he'll decide, hey, maybe I should go on and try again. But he may come back in like a different format or a different name. I guess we won't ever know because he won't call himself the same avatar name like Edgy Sphinx. He called himself Brave and Ruin after that, so he might come back in that way. But I don't I wouldn't expect it though.
Most definitely. I mean, I don't have anything else to say other than that we are surviving, and hopefully we won't have another run-in with Discord because of what they did. We're now branded as outlaws
I see.
for bullshit reasons.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough. So I guess I'll cut the stream off here. It was fun
Okay.
talking to you.
See if you want to do anything else like this sometime, just you know where to find me.
Of course. I'll shoot you a DM in the Discord. All right, everybody. It was good talking to you all. It's good seeing you all. Peace out and God bless.
See ya.